Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness, Season 5. First off, shout out everybody for liking, subscribing. Keep fucking subscribing, please. We need more subscribers, dude. We're getting like 1,000 views, and we still can't get 1,000 subscribers, bro. Figure it out, okay? Anyways, before I go too crazy.
Yes.
Amazing guest today, Matty Uniq. What's up, bro? How are you?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you coming out, man. It's, dude, you got a fucking very impressive career, resume, whatever you want to call this. But before we get into it, for anyone who's listening or watching that doesn't know you, maybe just a little intro on yourself, who you are, what you do, all the fun stuff.
My name is Matty Uniq. I'm in hospitality in the city of Toronto, and been doing this for about almost 20 years. And basically, we run a company called Honeycomb Hospitality, and we own and operate a bunch of venues such as Myth, Borrow, Petty Cash, Dasha, Mr. Wolf, and recently at Hotel X.
So
the
pretty
best
much,
ones.
I was gonna say, so pretty much the best places on King Street.
They're fun. You know, there's a lot of good restaurants, and you know, Toronto's got an amazing. I would say it's probably one of the most underrated cities when it comes to nightlife and hospitality with restaurants and nightclubs. Like, we're up there, man. If you haven't been to Toronto, you got to come up and see it. You won't be disappointed. It's a lot of fun here. And I think we're a little bit spoiled because we get to do the same shit every single week on repeat. So it gets a little old sometimes. But, you know, a lot of my friends that come up here and they're like, holy shit, this is Toronto?
Yeah.
These are the restaurants you have? These are the chefs? These are the girls? It's like,
it's the same talk.
We're coming back. We're telling all our friends.
So
it's cool.
You started 20 years ago.
Yeah, I went to University of Western.
Okay.
You know, didn't know what I was going to do, but I got in. I squeaked in just the last second, and you know, through some of those summer courses that they just give away good marks. But I was in my second year, and we were going out all the time, and you know, I had a lot of friends. I was a socialite at my schools, and you know, being on hockey teams and playing sports, and just being around my friends all the time. We always used to go out in big groups, and we waited in lines at like 7 o'clock in the snow, like on a Tuesday or Thursday or Wednesday, whatever it was, at like 8 o'clock. And I was like, this is insanity. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why is the whole school waiting to go to one bar and that no one's going to get into at 8 o'clock, or we're all going to get kicked out of eventually.
It's true. By 10:30.
By 10:30. So this one night we had a bunch of birthdays together and a bunch of people, and you know, we tried to get in and it didn't work. So we just walked down the street to this other place called Barking Frog, and it was empty, dead on a Wednesday. And you know, we walked in and we had a big group, probably 80 to 100 of us, between a couple of different birthdays and friends that were there. And the manager, Adam Shea, came up and talked to me, and he's like, hey man, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, these are my friends, we're hanging out. I told him to come here because we were sick and tired of going to those places or waiting these lines. Like, listen, if you ever want to come back and bring your friends, let me know. We'll take care of you. So shout out to Adam Shea. He's the first guy that got me in the door to start promoting. Amazing. And you know, from there I teamed up with a couple of friends, one girl in a sorority, one girl on the football team, and I'm like, hey guys, we should throw some one-off, like, you know, parties for our friends, and invite the jocks, you invite the girls, and I'll invite the people that I know, and we all throw a party. And that's kind of all came together. And I'd say about 2-3 months later, we were doing 800 people a night at that Wednesday night, you know, $5 cover. And they gave us the door, and I started going home with these like envelopes being like, holy shit.
They were loving you. They were fucking loving you.
I was like, holy shit, what am I doing at school? So, you know, it became fun. My parents were in hospitality just before I went to university. They owned a restaurant. It was on Danforth, Greektown, and my dad was kind of an investor in it. And so I kind of understood and knew what they were doing in terms of, you know, being part of the nightlife, and I would go to the restaurants with them and eat and hang out. And then when I was on my way to university, they bought a spot on Pearl Street. My dad did, called 11th Hour. And he opened that, and it was, you know, it was fun. It was a cool spot, and it did okay. But as I got into my second year, I was doing really, really well promoting, and I told them, like, these university bars are crushing it. And back then, they didn't really have that downtown. You know, everything was like, you know, Lot 332, the clubs. You got to go go to like the Saturday night, you're gonna go to Money, you're gonna go to the mall, you're gonna go to Kilmarnock, get a nice fresh dress shirt, get nice pants, look good. And, you're gonna go in, you're gonna try to pick up chicks at the bar. There was no bottle service. Go to the bar, you buy 40 shots of Amaretto. Amaretto. And you just sit there and you just have 40 to 80 shots and you're looking around, the girls would come by, you give them a shot, and just times were different back then.
Of course.
But this university bar thing was kind of new for downtown Toronto, and there wasn't much of it, and I knew I was good at it. So when his place, after a year or two, wasn't doing as well as they thought it'd do, I told him, like, switch it over, and when I come back in the summers, and I'll build this out, and we'll kill it. So in my third year, he did that, and my that summer, we opened it up. It was called Piccadilly Circus.
Nice.
And it was this crazy, crazy university bar. And, the shit we did back then, I would probably be shut down now with everything that goes on. But, we did the old dancing on the bars and throw T-shirts, the wet T-shirt contests, and all these wild things back in the day to just have creative ideas. We even did this one time, it's a really good story, is Madonna was in town, and she was dating that guy Ritchie at that time, or married to him. And the place is called Piccadilly Circus, right? So we we pretended that Madonna was coming to Piccadilly's, because Piccadilly Circus was like an English name from England. Yeah. So I was like, she's gonna come there. We started promoting it, like special guest tonight, and there's just like blonde hair, like like her hair with like a shadow and like question marks. You know what I mean? Like, you know how the flyers used to be back then. Teaser. So we called up a bunch of friends like from the police station, and we said, hey guys, we need you to like escort some SUVs. We just wanted to make a little bit of a show out front, like cop cars and SUVs pull up, and like people see, she maybe come in. And so it's like 9:00, line up down the street. You got 1,000 people, and we get the cops cars there. The horses show up too. I don't know, it all came together for some reason. Like, yo, what do you guys do? We told them, like, hey, we got to pretend something's happening here to like pump up this night, so it gets like a little bit of hype. And so we get these cars and horses and cars and SUVs to pull up, and then we get a Madonna to come through the back door there, and everyone's going nuts, flashing. The press is there, and we put her up in the back corner, and finally we put it on the thing that she's going to do a song, and everyone came out.
Oh my god!
And it was an impersonator Madonna.
Oh my god! So how was the reaction after that?
People went nuts. They were so mad. I've never seen people get so upset about, it was a good joke.
Yeah,
for sure.
And everyone was like, kind of like, yeah, that was funny. But people were like leaving, like, what the hell? I paid $5 to see Madonna. But
imagine
it was
doing
fun.
that today. You would get raped.
But
where was the spot?
It's on Pearl Street.
Yeah, I remember where Fiction is.
Yeah, it's around that area.
Okay.
So that was the first.
That was like your first venue.
First venue in Toronto where I was like, my dad owned it, but I was throwing parties there for him, and that's kind of how my introduction to the scene in Toronto came about. But there was a really big hype around it, and a lot of club guys were coming, like, owners from other clubs, like, what's this place? How is there 1,000 kids? Good-looking people. All the Western kids, all the Guelph kids, all the Queens kids would come there, especially in the summertime when everyone's back. Or during the Christmas holidays, it was, good-looking crowd. And they were like, where is this crowd? What are they doing? They're all in jeans and T-shirts, and they're all drinking like crazy. What's happening? And, so I started to get a little bit of name in the city. And my last year at university, I was up to doing like 3-4 nights in London. And I think at that point, I just realized that this is what I want to do in my life. And I didn't graduate. I should have, but I finished my 4th year, and I came back to Toronto, and I got offered an opportunity to buy this space on King Street. And there was not much on King Street at the time. It was just like a couple places.
It was more Peter and Richmond area, right?
Peter Richmond, and there was a place called 606.
Okay.
And this guy who had it for sale, and I got a couple partners of mine from London, like a couple friends that I went to school with, and a friend from here in Toronto, and we kind of put together a little group, and we opened up a place called Cheval.
I remember Cheval. I went to Cheval.
Yeah, Cheval was fun. That was a good one. So that was kind of my first nightclub that I owned in Toronto, and just kept rolling from there. I eventually went back and bought one of the bars I used to work out in London.
Nice.
And that was a really cool, like, full circle thing to do in my life there. And I opened up a couple places there, and eventually I sold them. But it was fun to go back and be on the other end, not in university, more on the owner side, and throwing these parties with these kids and dealing with promoters and stuff like that. Because I was them at one point.
For sure.
All it took was an opportunity for me to get what I got to where I am today, and I hopefully I helped a lot of people out along the way.
No,
I
for
have
sure.
a question about like when you first got Chevelle, for example, were you still, let's say, owning, managing, and promoting? Like,
Yeah.
Like you
At
were
that
pretty much
time,
doing everything.
I still had my company at the time where I was like a promoting company. So we'd throw parties still. Like we'd do like parties at different nights in different places, and still I'd own and operate my venues in Toronto and London. So I don't think I gave up promoting for other people or just doing other things until I was probably like onto my like third or fourth venue.
Wow.
I was still
Damn,
doing
you're
one-offs
still
at
grinding.
like other places.
Yeah.
And then I just became to the point where I like,
Well, it still was growing your network, even those one-offs,
it was
right?
growing my network, but I was just like, if I'm going to make money, I'm going to make money for myself, not for other people anymore. And
100%.
just started owning my own places. So.
When does Cobra come into play? Because I remember Cobra, that was the first club I worked at, promoted at, and it's funny that you bring up like your creativity from like the college days and stuff, because when I was at Cobra, I saw a little bit of that with the themed nights. We did like a permanent marker t-shirt, the white t-shirt one, the wet t-shirt and stuff that. So when did Cobra come into play, and what was the mindset there? Because I think you made a lot of noise on King with that club.
Yeah, it was a good club. At that time, I think it was like when I was like 20, 25 or 26, we opened it, and the concept around at the beginning, remember we had the lights on the top and it was like this really cool stuff. It was, we wanted to make it an underground house music kind of club.
Yeah. Had that
That's what the concept was opening it. And people probably don't remember this because like deep house and tech house wasn't as big.
It wasn't cool then.
Yeah, the King West scene at that time.
Yeah.
You know, it was more top 40 and hip hop and stuff like that. But we were on that Thursday night at Cobra. We were bringing like Martinez Brothers there, Yours, Vorn, Black Coffee. We had all these massive DJs, and no one knew who they were. No one knew who they were. You know, but there was an underground scene going there, but it never really got recognized as this big Thursday deep house night or tech house night. And then we eventually switched it over to hip hop. But yeah, we have. You know, I took a lot of stuff that we learned from university and from those early days to apply to like cool marketing tactics.
Of course.
And you know, other than just booking DJs, you have to think about, why do people want to continue to come back to your places? Obviously, one, you know, like having a good venue, aesthetics, good sound system, good lighting system, service obviously is very important in terms of, if I'm spending money, I want to make sure like, you know, the bartender knows my name, my bottle service area is always clean and upkeep. The door guys, you know, the people at the door, I always, for me especially, because, you know, I don't really go to too many other places, but when I go around, I like to have good service at the door. Of
course.
Yeah. The whole experience starts at the door, and it's hard. It's
true.
First impression,
It's first impression, and then it's hard, and I'm not saying that, you know, anyone's perfect at it and anyone's not, because when you're doing 1,000 people a night, you know what I mean, there's got to be an, you know, interaction at one point where either the patron or the staff, something's gonna, you know, two people are gonna clash at some point.
At some point,
you just got to try to make this experience as pleasant and seamless as possible. But that whole experience for me at all our venues, even to this day, is the door. And security training is something we always do every 3 months. And we don't even call our security guys, they're hosts.
Hosts, yeah.
I love it.
We don't tell them. There's no security needed in our venues. You're there to host clients. You're there to introduce yourself. You're there if they want to walk to the bathroom, show them where it is. You know, that's how you're going to make a tip. I told them, guys, you want to make tips here and work and make money like the servers and waitresses, then you need to provide a service. You can't just stand there waiting or thinking that something's going to happen, and then the one time a year it does, you're going into security mode. You're a VIP host the rest of the time.
True.
So, you know, we're doing this training all the time, and to make sure that these guys understand that, you know, the clientele we deal with, obviously there's going to be some problematic issues here and there with people maybe being a little bit over intoxicated or an issue here and there, but you jump in as a friend, be like, hey man, I'm here. What's going on? Let me separate you guys, or let me talk to you. Let's sort this out, because people don't want to go at each other. They want to have a good time and you know, get home safe. So
we got to get you guys doing the fucking Toronto police training, bro. Holy, dude.
That's a great point, though. I think like a lot of venues, like, to be honest, like I've been to a lot of venues over the past 10 years, probably we've been, and a lot of venues screw up because the front door is a bad first impression. And then I always hear people just from being a promoter, they're like, yo, that door guy was a dick, never going back there again. Never going back. It was the first impression.
I'll tell you why. If you can ask anyone that comes on your podcast, or even friends outside of this, ask any bar owner, restaurant owner, club owner, whoever, how much time they put into training their service team or management team, and then how many hours they put into training their security team.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably way less.
Probably nothing.
Exactly. And once you ask them that question, ask them what's the difference between what experience they're giving their client, their patrons, compared to these people.
Yeah.
And if they have an answer for you, let me know what it is, because I don't know. Because these guys important. Can make or break the experience before the experience even starts.
Yeah, so true.
Before someone even gets to walk in, you're completely right, and I think that's a great point.
But I think like you guys do a good job of like you said, you don't even want them to feel like security, more like hosts, right? I think like your venues, like I've been to probably almost all of them, if not all of them. Like you guys do a good job of making it not feel like a place that needs security. Although sure, by government standards and whatever, technically you need a security team, but you walk into Borrow, Myth, whatever, and you don't feel like you need even like that there even needs to be security there. No. So I think you guys are doing a good job of kind of masking this security with a host, someone who actually can take care of your experience or get it started on the right foot at least.
100%. And the minute you put an army out front,
true. Yeah, just look.
It's gonna feel that way. So you have to make sure that you position people properly, and like I said, that the communications has to be a certain way, and it comes through training. So training is very, very important. And, I've learned that in my later days. Yeah. And I think there's kind of this old guard in the industry compared to, what businesses and culture of entrepreneurs and restaurants and bars should be and is today. Yeah. But there's still that old guard kind of thing when it comes to security, because, these guys have been in the industry for a long time. I'm sure they've worked at a lot of different places and seen some crazy shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And I get it. So they always, those might remember that one crazy time or this, from back in the day, whatever it is. But
and then you just have their guard up all the time.
Yeah, and then, they always have to be prepared, and I get it.
Yeah.
But we are here to change that mindset and get them trained up to kind of be part of the culture of the restaurant completely and be one.
I like that though. That's attention to detail, to be honest. So how many employees do you currently have under your umbrella right now?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Well, there's hundreds, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, we're around. We've grown. So here's a good story for you. I know the number pre-COVID.
Okay.
And just before COVID hit, we did our Q1 town hall. So this is kind of the first time that me and my partner of 2019 got together, and we're like, okay, we need to we have 6-7 venues, and you only get to see so many people so many times. There's only so many hours in the day, right? And we need to get in front of everybody. And I think the most important thing that we talked about, or we're going to talk about that day, in which we did, was, alignment across the company. That we are different venues, but we are one voice. And we represent one hospitality brand, and we work one way. And part of that was to let them know about our growth. Because I feel, and we felt, and this is something that I'll come back to, is that a lot of people don't take hospitality serious when it comes to what position or what career opportunities there are to grow into.
Yeah. True. Very true.
And I've noticed this, and I don't know if this is a North America problem, but, I have a lot of operators in Europe and Latin America, but, some of these people get into hospitality young because, that's just a little bit part of the culture there.
It's part of the lifestyle.
And they take it serious. You go to France, there's career waiters. You go to Greece, there's career bartenders that working on the islands till they're in their 40s. Wow. There's bartenders turn into management. There's managers turn into hotel managers or whatever it may be. And there's a career around hospitality. And I feel in Toronto that, people not use hospitality, but people get into hospitality as a transition because they want to, work at nighttime while they're studying to go to school, or they're trying to do something else in their life, and hospitality pays the bills in the meantime.
It's like a stepping stone almost for something. Yeah.
So we wanted to, at this town hall, is talk about, what we did well in 2019, our goals, our achievements, and we share our numbers with everybody.
That's amazing.
A lot of people are like, we don't say how much we make or what our sales are or whatever. Yeah. We celebrate our wins. We celebrate our wins and losses. We have to, especially with our team members, so they know. If we crack 300,000 a week, that's it. Like the whole team has to be jumping up, because on Monday we said we have to crack 300 and let's beat the goal or whatever it may be. And then on Sunday, let's all go for a beer at the end of the night. We cracked it. So that day we got in front of everyone. I remember I was at Rec Room, and it was February 18th or something like that. And 450 employees.
Wow.
At the time.
Fuck. How did that feel for you, man?
I'm not really good at speaking, in public. I'm not bad, But for that one, for some reason, I didn't really study anything. I just kind of wanted to go up and speak from the heart and just speak how I wanted to speak, like what I felt.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want it to be robotic.
I know.
For sure.
I'll tell you some funny stuff after, but we got up there, 450 people, talked about everything, talked about our 2019 plans and growth, where we're going, and, you know, what opportunities there is in this company.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that we want you to take this serious because we have management positions. We have upper management positions that make 6 figures.
Yeah.
You know, you might be going to school for whatever you're going to school with, but maybe there's a ceiling in that industry at 100 grand or 150 grand or 200 grand.
Yeah.
There's no ceiling. There's people make some big money if you get on the upper side of this industry working for big companies.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of money going around, right? And there's a limited talent pool.
Of course.
So people are paying for
Big
good people.
bucks. Yeah.
So
Especially now, man.
Exactly, especially now. So it was good to talk to everybody and see everybody. And I know I got off the stage and we, you know, ate some food after and played some games. And a lot of people are like, "Hey, man, you're a pretty nice guy. You're not a dick."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Why do you say that?" They're like, "Because you never smile or say hi." And one thing people don't know about me is I'm extremely shy. Like, it takes a lot for me to like open up. I'm a very shy, quiet guy, very respectful person. So when I get talking and get to know people, obviously they're like, "Holy shit, you're different than
cool,
I thought.
yeah.
You know, you're normal." And I'm just a type of person that I'm in my head. I'm at the venues. I'm watching everything. And people are like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just thinking about a million things that
business.
I see,
yeah.
and I want to fix and I want to do." And it's just tough for me to like sit there smiling and having a great time at work all the time. And
Of course.
but I try my best to say hi to everybody and remember names and share some moments with people along the way. So,
But dude, 450 people.
That's crazy.
Like that's
Yeah.
fucking impressive, bro.
it was good. It was interesting to see. I didn't believe it when I was up there, and 3 weeks later, COVID hit.
Yeah, boom. Okay. So talk about that. Like I'm curious, obviously being in hospitality, so heavily in hospitality, how'd that affect you guys? So what was the initial reaction? And then what was kind of the move forward from there?
The initial reaction was like everyone else, like, you know, something was coming. No one knew what it was. And then we got into this mode where we started to see reservations starting to cancel. You know, we just opened Dasha with Chef Akira back, you know, and it's a Chinese themed restaurant with karaoke and a little bit of a bar in the back, a speakeasy, and people started canceling. They're like, people calling, what's going on? What's happening? You know? And it happened within like 10 days. We went from fully booked reservations, full rooms, corporate events, whatever we had, to zero. People weren't coming out, and that's the point where we wanted to get ahead of it and close down. And we closed down. We were one of the first companies to close down. I remember it was a Sunday night, and we all got on the phone and we made a decision, and we closed on the Monday. And then I think 2-3 days later, the city closed, like on a Wednesday or Thursday, and it was wild, man. So it was probably the hardest thing I had to do was go speak to all these people 2 weeks before and talk about our goals and talk about our achievements, and then have to call and lay everyone off.
Jeez.
Broke my fucking heart.
That's fucked, man.
Broke my heart.
Holy fuck.
And those
Holy.
Those moments, I think those moments are what defines you as an entrepreneur.
True.
And I know a lot of people that kept on, a lot of people kept their management team or team on and kept going and did great and got into other things. But in hospitality, if you didn't pivot right away to kind of tighten the belt, especially a hospitality with like us, we have so much overhead that you know, it could have buried us really, really quick. And we basically laid off about 95% of our company.
Wow.
And it was the hardest thing that we could do until we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to wait the 2 weeks to flatten the curve because we knew this wasn't going to
it wasn't going to be 2 weeks.
So we kept on a couple of our senior management and upper management to help navigate through this pandemic. And man, it was probably the most depressing, hardest time of my life. I mean, obviously everyone got hit really hard. But from me, I've been going out 6 days a week for the past 18 years of my life.
It's part of your life.
And seeing people and being around people, and like to all of a sudden having that taken away, and I'm sitting at home, my couch at like 7 p.m., 9 p.m. on a Saturday night, and I look out on King West, and there was nothing happening there.
That's crazy.
I don't know how to take it in. I was in shock, and it took a while for me to process it and understand it. And I think as more information came out, we started to see and do things to try to get creative. And I call it like your spaghetti hat on, and just your marketing side of you comes out. Like, what do we do to try to make some extra revenue? And it was fun to see the resiliency of some hospitality companies, of some cool shit they did.
The ideas,
The ideas they came out with, and some of these ideas are still in play.
True.
The do-it-yourself home kits, the margarita kits, or this kit, or the pasta kits, or whatever it may be. And some of the big liquor companies still do that. You go to the LCBO and they have like a kit made ready to go, like your Caesar kit with Walters. And it was fun to see. And we did some cool stuff. Curbside barbecues, and when we got into the takeout game, the takeout game for us was weird. I think if you have a restaurant like ours where the experience comes with the full package, it's hard to package up $100 steak into a box and make someone travel like in minus 20 degree weather on a bicycle,
make it look good, and
be like, thanks, pay me $120.
Yeah, fair.
So we wanted our food to be memorable and people to remember our spots. So we kind of got out of that. But some people did well with it, and some people continue to do well.
Of course. And you guys brought Myth to life, right? During the pandemic.
Yeah. So that was, that was during the second lockdown. At that point, we knew what was going on and how we had to watch the cases go up and down. And we sat there around the table and we thought, that venue we had there, Citizen has been there for about 7-8 years.
It was my favorite spot,
had a great run.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were like, what do we do? Like, we have a great lease. We're there for another 15 years. But do we wait this out and reopen as Citizen and, ride it out for another 4 or 5 years and then, have to close down and reduce the thing? Or do we take this time while we're in this government shutdown to take our time to close? We're already closed, and to renovate and come up with a new brand and concept and come out the gates with a brand new idea and a brand that people will hopefully enjoy and come out hot. And that's what we did. Yeah. And Myth is a very special project to our family. We're Greek. Yeah. So we understand the cuisine and the culture and the design and what we're trying to put together. So it was easy for us. And I think when we came out with it, and a lot of people didn't get time to travel. I don't know if you've been to Myth or not, but
of course.
Has a beautiful aesthetic inside.
You feel like you're
with
in Greece,
the music and the food, the ambiance, everything it gave people a sense of escapism.
True.
This summer when they couldn't really escape. So I think it came out in a good time, and we're happy we did it.
But the food was fucking amazing. By the way,
the food was unreal.
I think we said that was the best fine dining in Toronto, right?
100%, and it was definitely like the best Greek food I've ever had.
Like, we were comparing to the place in Tulum. What was it? Ilios?
Ilios, yeah.
It's funny with Greek foods, and this is for me because I get the other end of it because I'm Greek, is that, and I'm sure Italians get this, and every culture get this, but and people don't understand Greek food in Toronto. And let me give you my explanation.
Okay, I was going to say, what do you mean by that?
There's a few different reasons. One, a lot of people see Greek food from North America and think that's Greek food, which is great. That's food's food, do different things. And then two, a lot of people that are from Greece or the, Greeks from Danforth or they're Torontonian Greeks always compare themselves to the region where they're from in Greece and the areas and what their grandma made, which I'm sure a lot of Italians do.
Same thing.
But there's different areas in Italy that produce, different pizzas.
Of course.
Napoleon, there's Roman. Yeah. And it's completely two different experiences. But the reason here is that people always compare them to their, the way their grandma cooks, or this is my place on Danforth, this Greek food like this.
Yeah, homemade.
And this is our interpretation of how we like to eat Greek food from our region and what we like.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of people that come to Myth enjoy the food and love the food, but it's just fun to see some of the Greeks that come there.
So do you get some flack? Like, do you guys get any flack for it?
No, not flack. It's just, we do it like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure
you get it, bro.
You get that. Like, you're like, we do pasta like that.
Yeah.
It's okay, well, we do it like this.
Yeah. No, but I think the way you guys made it an experience, and obviously, like the first, I think still to this day, people going in there taking fucking stories of that cheese on fire, bro, and that. It blew up. It blew up really quickly, like from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
And I know that all was meant to happen on purpose, you know, but that venue, I think it speaks a lot to your brand, because your brand, like your venues are very themed, you know? So I want to talk about that as well, because you have like Barrow, you had Escobar as well, which is now, is it Pablo Snack Bar now? Is that changed?
It's Escobar. Just we don't have a name to on the any of our kind of speakeasies. We don't really have a name or a website or Instagram.
Okay. Yeah.
We just run it really tight. It's kind of like an invite thing. If you know, you know.
It's the vibe. Yeah.
That's dope,
we don't want to be like on Instagram pages or like nightclub websites.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
TorontoNightclub.com. No hate, but you know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not on there, and that's the way we run things. But you know, our restaurants and you know the Flaming Cheese obviously is a thing in Greece. It's weird because we don't really like. You don't really see Flaming Cheese in Greece,
right?
No. You do not see that in Greece. You know, unless you go to tourist spots where they're just doing that and no one yells Opa.
Yeah.
But, you know, all my family back there would be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
It's part of the show. And I think now the way what people eat, you know, I'm sure you guys know the phrase Instagram eats first.
Of course.
Facts.
Can't even take a bite, man.
No. So, you know, you have to have some sort of entertainment part of the theatrics of just dining experience. It just makes it more fun and people interact with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, putting things on fire, you see a lot of cocktails being smoked and a lot of, you know, cool vessels, you know, whatever it may be, just to make it fun. You're out eating and just to go there to like order an appetizer, open a main, open a dessert, and then go home is boring.
No, 100%.
So
no, people want the experience now. It's not just about the food anymore.
Yeah, they want interaction.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, but understandable. It's 2020.
I want to ask, like, even comparing, because you're still like to this day launching venues and releasing new venues and putting them out there. Like, what's like the biggest difference you see, let's say in your venues from like Chevelle and Cobra, like that kind of market that we had in, let's say 2010, compared to now in terms of when you have to create a venue and create an experience?
The way I like to create experience for myself is I like to. If you notice some of my venues, they don't just, it's not just one experience. Not like you're just going for dinner and then the experience is over. You know, if you go to Barrow, we have 4 floors there.
Yep.
And the way I designed that venue is like, we want you to come eat, go upstairs, have a cocktail in the cocktail lounge, go upstairs to the rooftop after, have a drink, hang out, or go to Escobar after and dance a little bit. I want to keep you in the building and move you around a little bit, almost like a hotel. You know, when you go to Vegas, you know, the way they have you set up is
you don't have to leave.
You're not supposed to leave.
Yeah, you walk in and you don't leave.
If you're leaving, they're doing a bad job.
Fair.
And, you know, that's why they have amazing restaurants, amazing clubs, amazing pools. They have, it's all turnkey, right? And you get to the property, you enjoy it, you stay there, and you experience everything there. Yeah. And that's what we want you to do with our venues. You know, and it makes it so people can return more often as well, because it's hard to go eat the same place like 2-3 times a week.
That's true.
But you can go to Barrow 2-3 times a week because, you know, maybe one time you're going to eat, one time you're going to the rooftop to meet some friends for margaritas, and it's just outside and it's relaxed and it's sunny. You got your sunglasses on. It's a Saturday, or maybe you go down to Escobar to dance because there's a good DJ in there. Yeah, so it gives me opportunity to draw people in for different experiences without getting old.
In the same building or same venue.
Yeah, and Dash is the same way. We don't have karaoke, so you can come there and just do a karaoke experience, sing with your friends, eat in the karaoke rooms, or you can go to Judy's and dance on a Saturday night to a good house DJ. And Myth, same thing. You know, you come there during the week. There's the experience at Myth is obviously a little bit different. You know, Sunday to Thursday, and the Friday, Saturday, we have, you know, guys on the bongos, we have the performers, we have the belly dancers, and it's a dinner with a show.
You can't even get a reservation, bro. Oh, yeah, I might have to hit you up, dude. No, I'm curious from like let's say a financial perspective, what usually does better, nightclubs or restaurants?
So here's a good explanation. So the average nightclub has lasted how long, you think, in Toronto? What would you say the average? 5 years, 6 years?
I was going to say 5 years,
something like that.
Yeah, maybe 4 to 6 years, right? So say you put $1 million into the restaurant, into the nightclub. Yeah. And every year the nightclub, you know, does, I don't know, 8 million in sales, you're doing 20% profit margin, or you just say 5 million sales, easy math. Yeah. And you're doing a 20% profit margin on that. Yeah. You're making $1 million. $1 million, yeah. So for the first 4 years, you made 4 million, you invested $1 million, you made 3 million back. Mm-hmm. Well, now you got to take another $1 million after the 4th year and go renovate again.
Yeah. Change your name.
And change your name. And then if everything, all the stars align again and it hits again and you're making 20% on 5 million. Yeah. you're going to do that again. But at the end of the day, what are you left with? $2 million in between.
Yeah.
True.
Because
4 years.
it took you one to build it, and then it's going to take you one to do the next one, right? So you're where the concepts that I think that are going to be profitable and work well are these kind of hybrid dinner theater, supper club venues where you can eat there and enjoy your party there afterwards, because I believe they're going to last longer.
True.
And if it takes you $2 million to do that, but you're there for 10 to 12 or 15 years, you have a longer life cycle, and you took you one shot to make it
from that initial investment.
No, not how many. There's only so many times a nightclub's turned over and they've been successful after successful. They're successful. At the same time, you're still going to the same building, the same address. Only you can change the aesthetics or layout once or twice.
Yeah. True.
You know?
Yeah.
And
it's very Miami-esque though. The whole like dinner theater, like
just more experience.
Yeah.
Involved,
Like, did you guys like? Is that where you kind of took some like reference from? Like,
I'd say Europe.
I think
too.
Europe.
Yeah, Europe as well.
is a great. And the reason why I think dinner theater style venues in those regions, like you're talking about Miami and stuff, is because the time limit's different there, right? Like, they close at the bars at what, 6 a.m., 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So people are going to dinner a little bit later.
Yeah, midnight.
They're going to dinner at midnight. And how do you keep them there till 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning before they go to the next experience? And the key is to keep them there as long as you can. And if you're just having dinner with a little bit of background music, you're going to be out of there within an hour and a half.
Fair.
If you go to a place where there's entertainment, you're going to be like, hey, let's stick around for 3-4 hours. And then that's when the AGC, the average guest check, starts going from $80 to 120, 180. Okay, now we're buying bottles, and I'm staying at the table I sat at. And you see that in Europe, you just you eat and you stay.
Yeah.
And now we're buying bottles. So now you just turned your room into a restaurant, into a nightclub, without even telling people. And they don't even know what happened.
They don't even know. They just left.
Next thing you know, it's 4 a.m.
The only people that do it successfully are the ones that do it seamlessly.
Yeah.
And if you notice that it's happening, chairs are moving. If people are standing up. There's things you're like, if you notice it, the operator's doing something wrong.
True.
You're supposed to be it's supposed to be enjoying your experience, and it's seamlessly happening around you. Where like all of a sudden you're like, holy fuck, what happened?
Yeah, like
this
the lights got lower a bit, and the music starts coming in,
creeping up. Like if the transition's too fast, or even if the kitchen's not pumping out the food quick enough or whatever it is, you got to follow the rhythm of the food.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If you look inside the kitchen, the chits on the mains are down here and they're still on the board. You can't just have the DJ go pump it up.
Yeah, you can't start pumping.
Now you're going to eat your main food with loud music. You're like, okay, this is now the experience just got changed, right?
Wow.
So you got to watch the kitchen and how they're coming out, how it's coming out, and then when people are starting to get on dessert, the transition happens. Lighting, music, this, that, and you go into it, man. And if this more seamless you got it, the more good of an operator you are. And it's not easy to fucking not easy to train somebody this. That's telling you.
That's a lot of
you're reading the room, right?
It's impossible to explain. So a manager walks in the room that's never managed a dinner theater style venue before. This is where our concept is. This is what we're doing. Okay, explain how do I do this? Well, I just did. The guy's probably like, okay, what's the feeling? What's this? It's a feeling. You have to know. You have to be there, right? So even with our management teams, it took time for them to understand it and for us to understand it as well, that there's a certain transition point, and for it to happen seamlessly is the most important part of the business.
I guess that's why they get paid the big bucks then, eh?
That's why, man. People got to stay in hospitality. There's lots of money.
There's careers, there's money.
And we've noticed that after the pandemic. Of course. Have heard that, impossible to get staff.
Which is crazy. I feel like pre-pandemic, like hospitality was booming like crazy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like it was like at its all-time high. I have a question about like your top tier staff and like the ones closer to you that kind of you delegate the task for the rest of the employees. What do you look for when you're finding someone to put on your team that's going to have an important role?
I always say this. I don't say it too loud, but I say it. Is that when you're looking for someone in upper management, you're going to talk to, message, and be around this person more than you are with your wife.
Yeah, facts. It's true.
So you better have, not have the same qualities, but you better have be able to communicate with each other and understand each other's thought process, and how to challenge each other, just like a relationship with your wife. She's going to challenge you, you're going to challenge her, you're going to push each other to be better. And same with my management team. And I hate yes people. I hate people just like yes, whatever. They're just doing things. If my team around me, obviously you guys heard this a million times, not smarter than I am, then I'm not hiring properly. I bring something to the table that a lot of people don't, and they bring something to the table that I don't have, and it's how we learn and work together. I'm a very hard worker, I put a lot of hours in, and I don't work with with people that are punch in, punch out.
Just there for the hours,
and there's nothing wrong with them. I'm not saying anything bad. It's just my style. Like, I got to be able to message you at like 1 a.m. and be like, this, and this. Or I need this, and this, and this. And you got to respond right away.
Well, especially what you're saying, for like, if we're talking from an upper level management perspective, like, you can't be punch in, punch out. Like, it's impossible, right? You'll never operate that level of employment or that job title properly. No. There's no way.
Would you rather have someone, let's say, that has less talent, you have to train more, but works like an animal and will be passionate about it, or someone who maybe has more talent that you don't have to train as much, but is punch in, punch out?
Less talent.
Yeah, always.
If you don't love hospitality, if you don't,
you're gonna get sick quick.
It doesn't matter how good you are at this. If you don't love this, and you have like the Gene Simmons about to step on stage, foaming at the mouth, like, let's fucking go. Service is happening. If you don't have that in you every single day, because what we do is we do the same thing every day. We go through this massive, pre-shift, we're getting ready, clients are coming, the push is going, the kitchen's getting pumped, everyone's happening. And then this massive number comes out at the end of the night, and then we got to clean up, and we're sitting there till 3 a.m. And then the next day you wake up and same thing next day. And it's just on repeat, and it never ends.
It's never ending.
So you gotta love it.
So I want to work with people just as passionate as I am, and I'm super lucky to have my upper management team, and even another layer underneath me that I've had guys with me for like 5-6 years.
Amazing.
And it's
awesome,
crazy, and they love it as much as I do, and I couldn't do it without them, because this industry eats a lot of people up. The hours are hard. Me as an operator, I know a lot of people, VIPs, celebrities in the city, and I'm on. Like, even if I'm at home, if I have a night off, I'm on my phone till about 2-3 in the morning, just quarterbacking stuff.
Get this guy in, get her in.
We have this person showing up. Okay, send a bottle of this. I need a welcome card for this person. Whatever it may be. We're quarterbacking all the time, and that's why I need my management always to be there. It's not like there's no I'm going to take my day off. Please don't call me. You're like, I'll respect you if you just say, hey man, I'm going offline. I tell my manager sometimes too, I'm beat. I need half a day. I'm going offline. Same with them. If they ever come to me and they need something, I'm 100% there. There's no as long as you ask me and just say, I need the fucking 4 days, I need to disconnect. I'm my peak. Go for it. I don't,
because you get the industry, how
there's
it can
no
be.
there's 2 weeks of your 4 days of your 2 weeks is off the schedule. No, man, there's no, if you want to work, get the job done. As long as it's being done, and then you need a day off, you need a weekend off, go. Sometimes I have to fucking get these guys out of here. I'm like, get out here, go, go to the cottage, go away with your wife, go do this, because they have the same itch that I do about it.
But you said something important. You're like, even when I need a day off, it's like half a day. I think people don't understand that when you're at the top of a company trying to build something, you have 0 days off. I'm sure
there's probably people that look at you and be like, bro, you're probably just chilling all day. You're just probably quarterbacking, whatever. But it's not like that, bro.
No. I talk on some entrepreneurship classes at Guelph.
Okay.
And I've done it for about 2 years, 3 years now. And, at the beginning, I used to be so scared to talk to them about, because I want them to get something out of it.
For sure.
And now I just scare the shit out of them. I used to walk in
every day.
I just walk in and be like, you guys, if you want to be an entrepreneur, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. You're gonna miss payroll. This is gonna happen. You're never gonna stop working. This and that. This and this and that. And by the end of it, the concept of what I'm trying to say, obviously I put it together properly and in a proper speech and everything, and try to scare the fuck out of them. Is that if your passion and your love for what you're going to do, whatever it is, doesn't match what I just scared you with, don't get into it. Like, your passion needs to be more than the shit list that I just try to scare you with.
And
I think at the end, of the class, that's where it comes and it starts to like sink in for them.
Yeah.
And look, there's some great young entrepreneurs have done some great shit, but there's a lot of people that failed, man.
Of course.
There's more people that failed than made it.
100%.
What do you think is the key? Consistency?
Making it?
Yeah.
Timing.
Timing?
I think it's a very important for
sure.
personal. I know some very, very smart businessmen, and it just wasn't the right time for them.
Yeah.
True.
And maybe they left their comfy job, working for where they were too early, and they weren't ready for like, okay, oh shit, I'm on my own, And then some people, I think luck has a lot to do with it too, in an industry at the right time, and working hard. But at the end of the day, nothing outbeats work ethic.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Yeah, but you know what? You probably learned a good lesson of the whole like resiliency thing, like starting young. I think starting as an entrepreneur a little later in life is a little more tough. You have obviously more on the line, maybe mortgage payments, whatever, all that shit. But also just the understanding of how fucking crazy it becomes every single day, nonstop. And when then you start to have employees under you, you're getting messages at all time of the day. Like you have no time off, like you said. Even I'm sure that the days you go, I'm offline for half a day, that's bullshit. You're probably still answering questions, probably still talking about the business to some extent, right?
For sure. I'm always taking care of people, but my managers know and I rarely, like maybe once every 2 months, I say I need a day off or whatever. They don't bother me, so it's nice. But entrepreneurship is an interesting thing, and you gotta have a really, really high passion for it, because you're gonna fail more times than not. You're gonna miss a payroll, or you're gonna worry about missing a payroll, and you're gonna have long nights ahead of you, and you're gonna have to battle through that. And at the end of the day, you have to love working for yourself and being prepared to be paid last.
Yeah, that's important though.
Preach that.
Preach that.
We're gonna fucking put that in the fucking.
That
reach
paid
that.
last.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people start off as an entrepreneur, and that's the first thing they're looking for, their paycheck, right?
Oh,
it's like,
dude, if you're paycheck chasing,
shot.
do not be an
Yeah,
entrepreneur.
just get a 9 to 5,
Don't even bother.
I want to ask, like, you told us your day to day, it's hectic, right? And I see it on your story too. You're at one venue, then you're doing taste testing, then you're somewhere else, then you're there. Then how do you stay balanced?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I didn't think you were going to ask that.
How do you stay, let's say, motivated as well?
Balanced, I'll say.
Cool.
I go to the gym a lot. Like I'm not like some like meathead guy, but I used to work out a lot, and I still do. So that 1 hour of like disconnected from the universe, of like just putting some tunes on, doing my cardio, doing weights, getting a sweat, just releasing some good like feelings out of your body, and pumping that blood. I think that 1 hour keeps me daily balanced, which is nice. Family, my family is very close with me, so I get to work with them a lot. So I get to communicate. So if I'm going through stuff, I have a phone call, and they get it, because they're in the same industry. So like I'm saying like, oh, this is happening, or I'm having a meltdown, or I have a 911 happening. They're like, okay, they help, they can help me guide through it.
Yeah. So
I think balance comes from family, and that 1 hour of disconnection a day at the gym, which is nice. And I get to travel a lot. This is like one good thing where, not recently because of COVID, but I used to travel a lot. Part of my end of the business, what I take care of is R&D, food and beverage, and concepts. So I get to travel a lot and see different things around the world, because if you don't see what's happening, trends around the world, you're just going to be stagnant. You're not going to be doing anything cool. Not that you're copying stuff, but you're more or less getting ideas. You're seeing, different design ideas, different textures, different foods, different flavors, meeting different chefs, like just picking people's brains, and it's fun. The industry is so big. There's so much out there, man. So traveling was a big thing for me before COVID to kind of balance me out. I used to travel like at least once every 2 months.
Oh, it's amazing.
To go eat.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You ever think about
sounds amazing.
You ever think about opening something like somewhere else?
I always thought about it. I've been offered a bunch of things. I've looked at a bunch of projects, Arizona, Miami, LA, but I kind of like being a big fish in a smaller pond. Yeah. And the pond's not that small anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a pretty decent sized pond.
It's a big pond now.
Yeah.
So I'm already here. I'm established. I think leaving and taking away my energy from this city to go somewhere and start brand new will take a lot away from what I've built. And I think I have a lot of work still to do here in the city. And I want to leave my mark a little bit more here in Toronto and keep building it. And, I talk to some celebs a lot of, local guys. I'm sure everyone knows who I'm talking about and stuff like that. That came up and moved out to LA or they've done huge things. And these are guys that have put our city on the map, and that used to come to my clubs and restaurants since before they were big.
Yeah.
They used to not get in. And
That's amazing.
And we sit down, we have a talk, and it's just like, you know, these guys have put Toronto on the map.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these the music scenes really put Toronto on the map. And when we talk about things like that, they're like, yeah, but you guys in hospitality have really pushed this city, and you always have. And in the past, you know, 5-6 years, people are talking about our nightclubs. People are talking about our restaurant. People are talking about our chefs. People are starting now to talk about our hotels, because we never really had too many cool hotels in Toronto. So the scene's growing, along with, you know, our music scene and our sports scene. You know, obviously Raptors won the championship, and hockey's doing great. And, you know, there's so much happening in our city. But I want to continue to do my part and push this city to be one of the best international cities to visit and live in the world.
I was gonna say, do you think there's still a lot more growth here for Toronto?
A lot. There's so much growth left.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And not to say that we have to grow into being better, but there's still so much landscape. You know what I mean? Like if you go by Rebel down there, or the beaches.
Well, they're doing that whole area.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
That's New York. That's a whole different neighborhood.
I know.
It's a whole different district neighborhood with its restaurants.
Condos,
There's a whole different world going to happen over there. Down at Ontario Place.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm down at Hotel X
so
now.
You're scheming. Okay, we see.
So Hotel X down there, that we have the contract, the food and beverage contract with Food Dudes.
Yeah.
And we're renovating all the restaurants there. There's going to be 5 restaurants, and there's going to be a rooftop. Obviously, people went to last one, but we're renovating the rooftop this year. We're renovating the lounge on the 27th floor into a beautiful cocktail bar. And we're doing a small little live music lounge as well.
Oh, come on.
We're doing a big restaurant on the first floor. And our first restaurant will open up on the second floor, which is kind of like the breakfast, lunch, all day place for people to eat inside the hotel for
So again, just keeping them in the hotel. Just
keep them in the hotel.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And there's you know, I'm not going to tell you what's happening, but there's a lot of stuff happening on the CD grounds.
Yeah.
There's more hotels coming.
I was
there's more
just about to
coming.
ask you. I was about to say, because Hotel X is pretty standalone there right now. There's not really much around it. It's fucking parking lots, the stadium.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was going to say there must be some other stuff happening. It's too much land.
There's stuff happening.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be first
There's
there.
stuff happening.
Yeah. No, perfect. Yeah, and you're getting into something that's already established to a certain
And
extent,
it's been
right?
my dream to learn
The hotel side.
Yeah, my ultimate dream one day is to own a hotel.
Sick.
And not a big one, just you know, that's kind of more of my like retirement life. I want to live somewhere in the world with a nice little hotel,
Like a boutique
a nice little restaurant, and just kind of live and work the property. You know what I mean?
Feel you. Yeah.
So I wanted to learn that style, that end of the business a little more. So it's fun to be in there, and you know, I was at Thompson for about 9 years. With Wildflower in the basement and learning a lot there in the back end from their management team. Now I'm here learning a lot from the management team here, and just seeing how everything operates, man. It's a whole different. Hotels are beasts. There's what you don't see, like, you know, the rooms in the lobby behind the scenes. There's like
madness.
Kitchens and storage and this and that, and you know, so much happening. There's the whole network happening underneath those buildings.
Yeah,
it's wild.
But it's cool because you're going in there. You're not just saying, "Cool, I'm going to put like my restaurant and my like cocktail bar." You're like, "Okay, let me go in there, put my restaurant, my cocktail bar, but let me also learn like what else is going on." You know what I mean? Because you already have your foot in that door, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing that little bit of extra reresearch.
Always learning, man.
Yeah.
You always have. There's so much to learn in this business, especially when it comes to food and service. Like, there's new things happening all the time, and there's, you know, ingredients and trends and all these things that, like, you always have to educate. Wine, like spirits, like it just never ends.
Yeah,
of course.
It's awesome.
It's cool though.
That's crazy, man.
That's unreal.
That's insane. I want to talk about cannabis a little bit because we know you got into that recently.
Yeah.
Last year or so, right?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Dope. So you opened up a dispensary. Mm-hmm. Is that a franchise, 7 Point?
My partner has a few other locations, but this is the only one called 7 Point for now.
Okay. What made you make the move?
It's a similar business to alcohol, to selling alcohol. We're buying a product from the government. You know, safe consumption is very important in that industry, and that's what we do with selling alcohol. So it's very similar style of operations. We're buying from the government, selling to a customer. So we were interested in it. Obviously, there was a boom in the industry and it was fun to learn it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, we thought it'd be a good segue into trying something different, especially during the pandemic.
Diversifying a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's been a fun project. We bought the building, so like we're on the real estate side and the other side. So you always gotta buy real estate. I'm sure people tell you that. Buy
all the time.
So the business is there while we own the building, and it's been fun. It's fun.
Has there been any like challenges that maybe you haven't faced in hospitality that you're facing with cannabis?
Yeah, I think the change that we're seeing is that there's so much rules and regulations changing, especially with the pandemic. Like example, when they came out with dispensaries, you could never do delivery. Now stores closed. Now there's delivery. We were told that delivery is going to stop as soon as the pandemic stops, or people can come in store, but they kept it. So now we're still doing delivery. So there's a lot of regulation changing.
Okay.
They're going on Uber Eats.
I saw that. Close the deal.
So it's like a lot of things are happening really fast, and I think maybe a lot faster than they do in the restaurant industry, because the restaurant industry has been around for so long.
True.
Yeah.
Licensing's kind of been the same. It hasn't really changed. So now to see all the changes, with cannabis and licenses, the licensing changes and regulation changes, it's interesting because it's changing the industry.
Yeah.
Like those things, you have to pivot right away. Like, because your competitor, it's so competitive that if you don't have delivery up, 3-4 weeks or a month, but your competitors do,
you're done.
You can eat shit, right?
I guess what people don't understand as an entrepreneur is like, it's not just a quick change. Like, oh, there's delivery now. It's like, okay, I got to find a delivery driver. What car are they driving? Are we covering their gas? The logistics, the processes.
The website.
What is it? Yeah. Like, there's so much more into it. Like, so much more goes into it. What people from the outside would think is a small change.
Yeah.
I guess there's so many things on the back end that you have to take care of, right?
So remember before Uber Eats and those delivery systems, people were just doing delivery on their own with their driver and whatever. So now, everyone's set up like this, but now when cannabis turns into Uber Eats, this is going to become obsolete, and now everyone's going to go online again.
Yeah.
So now we're changing again within a year.
Yeah.
So like it's a lot is happening. I'm interested in to see where it continues to go. The legacy market's still very big.
Yeah.
Very big. People still buy outside of dispensaries.
For sure. For sure.
I want to see what this city or government or overall what's going to happen in the industry with that.
Yeah.
Because we're talking like a huge number of dollars that still get bought in the black market.
Yeah. For sure.
And
for sure.
If it goes to dispensaries, like it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Or if people just say we're not into this dispensary stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to buy off the black market or legacy market. Sorry. That market's going to stay forever.
Yeah.
And the government just has a small piece of the pie in terms of the tax part.
Damn, it's crazy.
I'm interested. Obviously, you've opened and been a part of a ton of different venues. If you had to and can choose a favorite, what would it be?
Oof.
I know. That's tough.
I can't even pick one for you, bro.
I don't know. I don't want to name any of the ones right now because I'm still in it.
You're still
in it.
Okay, so let's talk about your past ones.
But the past ones, just because I know what it feels like to close. And the weird part is, so the day before I open, for me, this always happens to me. I have like the worst dreams. I'm fucking nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
And I just have these dreams that no one's showing up. Like doors are gonna open, it's empty, people don't like it, all these things are happening. Because I'm hard on myself. I like to take care of people. I like to see my happiness comes from seeing other people happy. That's why I think I love hospitality. It's not because there's all this crazy. There's not crazy money in it. Our margins are fucking super tight.
Yeah.
And we work like dogs. It's a really, really difficult industry and market. But I love seeing people happy. Yeah. I love seeing the smiles in the day. I love seeing a text message. It says, hey, I had a great meal. Thank you so much. The food was amazing. Or our server was great. Or I love the ambiance. Or I met this girl last night and now we're dating at the club.
Now we're getting married.
I've had that happen. I've had guys like, I'm that girl I met at your club, bro. I'm getting married to her.
Stop.
Or
That's
or
crazy.
like I've met other people like, I met my wife at your place. Like,
That's amazing.
It just, for me, those little things are just like we're doing something to change someone's life. And I like that. So that opening days means a lot to me, but the closing day is the hardest.
Of course.
Yeah.
All those years.
And it's not because, so I never had really venues that closed, too many, maybe a couple, that closed because something bad happened or it wasn't doing well. my venues in London, I chose to sell because I didn't want to drive to London 2 hours anymore. I was just tired. There's so much back and forth. The business is here. Then, Cheval, we closed it. It was still slammed 6 years in. But I just thought the timing for me to get into more restaurants, we turned into a place called Valdez that had the original Escobar in the back, was the right time. I wanted to end it off on a high note. Like, I don't want my clubs and, Wildflower is the same thing where they get into that rhythm. They have those life cycles where they're hot, they're good, all the good people. Then you have all these promoters and then you have all these things happen and the crowd's shit and then people don't go. I don't like that life cycle. I like to kind of end on like a good note. Just because of my brand and my reputation, I always want to have a good standard. So I think the closings are hard because things are still going well, but I think Wildflower, that was the hardest one.
That was one of the most iconic. One of the most iconic venues in the city for sure.
And I've closed Cheval. That was another like epic one for me. And I never knew the feeling of what I'm gonna miss. It was weird. And when we closed Valdez, because we got bought out of our lease at Valdez, which is Borrow now. So we took a buyout. We were killing it there too. I knew the last day, the last service, we sat there with my chef. We cooked the last chaufa, this big plate of rice, and we all just sat there and ate and drank tequila and just talked, And it was just, but we had something else happening, so it was fine. But Wildflower, we knew was done. They sold the hotel. The hotel was turned into one hotel, and I knew the date. The date was, 2019 New Year's Eve was the last date.
Oh shit! Okay.
And that my staff there was such a good community of people. Peter was my manager, Will, and I worked with him for about 10 years before, in other venues of mine. So I had a long relationship with him, and my staff that worked there was so tight and such a good crew, but they didn't realize at the time what was about to happen in terms of what they were about to lose or what it would feel like to lose
when it was gone.
When it was gone, and I have, and I pre-shift this like 2-3 times. I'm like, guys. And you see the girls in the buses, they're like, yeah, what's this guy talking about? I'm like, guys, you don't understand what you have here. I'm like, this is awesome, and it's gonna end in 3 months. Enjoy these moments, enjoy these nights, like take every fucking moment in. And I said it to them the last night. This is the last night, and you're starting to feel what I'm telling you about 3 months ago. And they're like, we're starting to fucking feel it. And I'm like, enjoy it. And then some of these girls still work for me now in other venues, and they're like, Matty, that speech you gave that day, like, we finally understand what the hell you were talking about. Like, we miss it so much. It was such a good time.
You could see it, like, even going there, like, you could tell everyone was in sync. Like, all, like, from the doorman to the host, the girls at the front, all the way to the server, the bartenders, the bussers, like, it felt like everybody was in sync. Like, it was literally, and probably for you guys, that was a great feeling. It felt like everyone was like a one fucking robot, one machine. Like,
and when you get in that mode, there's like, for me on my end, and I don't know how people feel as a patron, that place had an energy sometimes. You're just like, holy fuck, like something's happening here. Like, especially on the Sundays.
The Sunday.
Yeah, like you were in the room, like it was just this energy in the room of just like something felt really good. Like everyone was just
having a blast,
out good energy and good time, and you can just feel the rhythm of the room, and it was just like wild.
Was that the first time you were involved like with a hotel?
Yeah, that was the first hotel I worked with. So it was fun. It was an interesting relationship, working as like a nightclub operator in a hotel, because it's just two different worlds. But like I said, in Vegas, everyone's got to be in sync.
True.
The girl checking people in needs to understand exactly what happens downstairs, what the nights are, who goes there, why it's happening, and communicate. There's like in a hotel, you need like communication, signage, direction points. All that is so important because the person checking in needs to know what's happening in the whole venue, so they stay there
as a whole.
If they leave, we're not doing our job. So
cool.
That's something we're trying to master and keep people in this property for their 24-hour stay.
No, I also find it interesting that you say like there's so much growth in Toronto, but you put it good in terms of like all these different untouched pieces of land. But I think a lot of people that in conversations I've been having recently, people don't seem to think that Toronto has much more in terms of growth. But I'm surprised.
It's perspective as well.
No. You're coming from a completely different angle, but it makes sense.
I went through this. I went to this guy's dinner. I won't say his name, but he's a famous guy, like entrepreneur guy, and it's like a billionaire's dinner type thing, millionaire dinner. Yeah. And I don't know what the hell I was doing there, but I was there with some hospitality people to talk about, you know, COVID hospitality. And this gentleman has a garage, and I'm telling you, I've been to it. I've been at the Ferrari factory in my life. I've driven Ferraris on the Ferrari pistas. Yeah. I've never seen a garage of cars or collection of cars like this. I think it was about a $400 million collection.
Oh my God.
Like two or three of the, he had like 30 Ferraris, F40s, F50s.
This is in Toronto, Ontario, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll say Canada.
And
Jesus Christ.
And he had classic Ferraris from the 60s and 70s that are worth like 8 to 10 million at an auction each one, that have like 20,000 kilometers on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
It was insane. They had every single car you can think of, like the Jaguar XLR was there. I was like, fuck, I fucking forgot about this one. Geez. The old Corvettes, the old Stingrays, everything you can think of was in this thing. And he made this beautiful table down the middle of this garage, and a bunch of gentlemen that were very successful entrepreneurs came there to eat. Chef Massimo was the chef. Some of the best Italian food I've had. And part of this dinner that he throws is that these entrepreneurs through the dinner get up and talk.
Cool.
Every course, different people talk throughout the meal, and different industries. And one of the guys came up, and he was a real estate guy, and he basically went in front of all these business guys and was basically said, "You guys are all fucking lucky that you live in Canada and you live in Toronto."
Wow.
Come on.
And he said, he goes, he operates a fund, you know, billion dollar fund of real estate. And he's like, we live in the most underpopulated country in the world.
Yeah. True. So that's fucking
compared
true.
to land mass.
That's true.
We have one of the most stable governments in the world. And we live in the biggest and best city where everybody wants to come and bring their money. So
it's true.
As the world continues to grow, where are they going to have to end up going?
Mm-hmm.
We have 1 million immigrants coming here in the next 2-3 years. We don't have 1 million homes or apartments or units to put them.
Yeah.
So he said, you guys are fucking lucky. That's how he started off. He goes,
come on,
buy land, buy real estate. There's only one way it's going to go. We have to house these people. We have to find these places for these people to live. There's going to be millions of more people over the next, 100 years coming here. It's not going to stop at 1 million.
Yeah.
Other people are going to have to come from other countries that are getting overpopulated. And the first people to leave overpopulated countries are people with money. The poor are not leaving. They can't leave.
Yeah, it's true.
So they're going to take their money and go where? Canada's got a very stable government, and we have lots of land to build on.
Ton of it. Yeah.
So he's like, you guys are all fucking lucky you live in Canada.
So the fucking Instagram real estate agents aren't lying, eh? It's telling us the truth, bro.
It's buy. And he's like, obviously, they have an algorithm he was talking about like what to buy where, but he's like, Scarborough's going for $1,000 a foot.
Yeah. Everywhere. Yeah, dude.
Even bigger now.
I sold one of my condos once, like 6-7 years ago, for $1,000 a foot, and they're like, record breaking downtown. Wow, what's going on? 1,000.
Yeah.
Now people are listing condos for 1,500, 1,700. I'm like, no one's gonna get it. They're sold out.
Yeah,
sold.
It's true. So true, man.
Like if Scarborough's getting $1,000 a foot, where do you think Scarborough's gonna be in 8 to 10 years? It's gonna be at 1,500 a foot.
Yeah.
Downtown's gonna be at 2,000. So, not to say that that's the best places to buy, or he said that, but he's like, find
good spots,
where's the good spots where growth is going to happen. Yeah. Not everyone can move or afford to move downtown Toronto. It's not those 1 million people are going to go across Canada, a good portion of Toronto, but they're going to get jobs in the suburbs or will have to drive in because they can't afford $1,500 a foot right now.
Yeah.
So he's just find a specific niche area and buy and let it just develop.
It's true.
So when it comes to real estate,
can't go
that's
wrong.
my story from this.
We're gonna get you a fucking license,
billionaire, bro.
We're gonna get you a license.
Do you have any advice for, let's say, a new entrepreneur, someone young, just starting off? Maybe they don't know exactly what they want to do, but they know they want to work on their own and get shit done.
Yeah. One thing that I'm going to use this example because I never did it because I was an idiot, and I should have, and I've learned more about it now, and I've watched some colleagues and friends research. Yeah. And I have, one of my partners, he just started a new brand, and this guy had no idea about restaurants ever, but he came to Toronto and he joined forces with us, and he's a partner, and he was in public speaking. And I'm sure he's going to listen to this because he always listens to my stuff and then critiques me.
Nice.
But he was in public speaking, and he worked for, a call center at 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And he's an amazing public speaker, talks about company culture. And I brought him here to help build my company culture because I had no idea about it. And I made him a partner, and that was his area of part of the business that he had to develop. And, you know, recruitment, company culture, all these things are so important to a company like ours, especially in an industry that doesn't have good culture.
Too much culture,
It's very rare. Like it's being installed now, but like 5-6 years ago when we started this, we were like, I would say we're company leaders in hospitality in Toronto, leading culture. And it was fun to hear. But he recently left and started his own QSR, like quick service restaurant brand called Brasa. He opens his first store in the next day or two, which is awesome. And he never knew anything about food. Nothing about service, nothing about owning or operating a restaurant, especially a quick service restaurant. And he wants to build a massive chain, you know, 300, 400, 500 restaurant. He wants to build $1 billion quick service restaurant. And all he did for 2 years was do research, have meetings, ask questions, talk to other restaurant hospitality guys, talk to other QSR guys, talk to other chefs, pick their brains, get knowledge on every aspect of the fucking business.
True.
He built his menu and got a nutritionist to do a deep dive. Like, is this food healthy?
Damn.
Is it not? How can I market it?
Yeah.
Because I can't just say, oh, it's a salad bowl and it's somewhat healthy. Unless you know it's healthy. What are the actual healthy aspects of it?
Damn.
You know, it's Peruvian chicken brand. So, you know, he dived deep into everything. Peru, what is Peru? What is their main exports? What is the ingredients? What is the hot stuff coming out of that country? You know, in terms of culinary, who are the hot chefs? Called them. He sunk his teeth into the business.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a young entrepreneur, before you start anything, sink your teeth right into everything and never be scared to ask. A lot of things I've noticed with entrepreneurs is that people are scared to use their networks or just ask. And I tell that to my entrepreneurship class at Guelph. I'm like, guys, you have someone, not me, but maybe someone else that you admire or you think is a good businessman, DM him.
Yeah, straight up.
DM him. Like, hey man, I'm so-and-so. I want to start a business. Don't ask for a half-hour conversation because they're probably busy. Ask for a 7-minute conversation and have 4 or 5 loaded questions ready to go. Be prepared for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't be scared to ask people because a lot of people are out there willing to help.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good entrepreneurs that understand young entrepreneurs coming into the business. And a lot of people get scared to ask me questions. A lot of people get scared to ask other people questions, but ask.
Yeah.
Find out everything because everyone's failed at something while they're being an entrepreneur, and everyone's been successful. Yeah. And they're going to give you feedback. And I think that feedback is so powerful.
Yeah. I think ask questions is so important, man.
Yeah,
so
man.
true.
You
so
have
true.
to. So
listen,
did you have before you asked the final question, did you have any mentors when you were kind of in your come up in hospitality?
Great question. I don't think I had any real mentors. There's people I looked up to in the industry. There's people that helped me. Zark was on this show. He's helped me a lot. Yeah. You know, in this business. He always was a big supporter from the beginning. I remember him coming. I did this party when I was in university. We all used to come back for Christmas, and I used to do a party at Brandt House. And it was called the Naughty Christmas Party and whatever. And he never really knew, like, because I was still doing bars and stuff at the time, and, you know, just one-offs. And he came in and introduced himself, and he's like, holy shit, there's some good-looking girls and it's a good crowd. I'm like, yeah, man, like, nice to meet you. And then it was funny because, like, a month before, 2 months before, I went to go try to get a night at Century Room, and I met with Ralph. And I went there with, like, my buddies, and, you know, back then we dressed a little weird and different. And we had our, like, hats on, our bleach tips and shit like that. And Zark came into the room because I was trying to get a one-off party there. Okay. And he was in his suit and everything. And he looked at us, and Ralph and us were having the meeting. He's like, who the fuck are these guys? Who's this boy band trying to... They're like, Ralph, we're not working with these guys. And I was like... Because I was 19 years old. I was a kid. And they had a different brand, a different strategy. And, you know, Ralph was forward thinking. I was trying to get new talent on. And Zark was the cool guy that just was like, this is who we are. But... he came to my party about 3-4 months later. He's like, this is sick. And then I ended up doing Century Room on Thursdays.
Dope.
That's
as a
crazy.
promoter for years. Yeah. And it was a good night. And then I ended up partnering with them at Everly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it came full circle to being like, you know, who the fuck are you guys?
Who's this asshole with the blonde tips?
10 years later, being like, partner up with us and throw a party. Like, be
That's
part of the
crazy.
business. So
I love to see it,
it's
bro.
fun, man. Yeah.
Okay, listen. We're the MBH podcast. Money buys happiness. What do you think of the term?
Money buys happiness. I have to agree because
Nice.
because
All right, cut it. We're good.
no, because anyone who tells you money doesn't buy happiness is talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, and there's happiness comes in different shapes and sizes, and you know, you can do something with money that, you know, is a positive thing, or just something for yourself that makes you feel good. You can go buy your mom a car if you have money, and you know, see her smile. And I'm sure if we all bought our mom a car, we'd fucking feel amazing, and that is happiness.
Yeah.
Or we can do something for ourselves that just makes us happy, like travel. I'm not a type of guy to hoard cash and be like, oh, I'm going to save all this money and do this. Like, what I've learned is, like I said before, is that, you know, I have a passion for what I do, and I love what I do, and that's the only reason I do it. I don't just do it for money, but when the money's there, I get to enjoy the things that I love in life, which is traveling and eating and having different experiences. So the reason why I say money does buy happiness is because if you use that money in the right way for the right reasons and right things, you can find ways it can make you happy. Not to say that's the only way to be happy, because I have friends and family that have no money that are extremely happy people. And money is not the only reason why people are happy in life. You know, family's number one. And, you know, just living, man. We're alive. We're here for a very short time, guys.
Yeah.
And it's fucked, but every day is sick.
Yeah.
For me, that's how I live.
That's
like,
dope.
Yeah, it's because
every
you
day's
enjoy
awesome.
you enjoy the way you make money.
I
Right?
enjoy the way we make money, of course.
Yeah.
Not because I'm lucky, it's because I'm happy.
Yeah.
And there's moments where I'm like, fuck, I hate life. This is hard, or there's a lot of hours, or I'm tired. But at the end of the day, like, there's someone in a hospital bed right now begging to be us.
Yeah. True.
That's true.
You know, and so fuck my stupid fucking issues, fuck my whatever problems that you might have in your head for a couple seconds, and mental health and all this shit. Be thankful, man.
True.
Be thankful, be happy that you were alive, and these moments don't last forever, and battle through it. You will always have, you know, times where you're sad or upset, and you're always gonna have times where you're high, peaks and valleys of life.
Yeah.
Get over it. That's what it is. It's life.
Yeah.
Stay strong.
We like that. No victim mentality here, bro.
No.
It's gratitude, though. I agree with you. Gratitude is a big piece, and I think people forget that. Just to like, there was a saying. I watched this guy talking about this saying where he goes, "If I gave you $10 million today, but you didn't wake up tomorrow, would you take the 10 mil?" And of course, the guy goes, "No, I would never do that." He goes, "Okay, so you're valuing like waking up the next morning
At 10 million.
Yeah, I'm more than 10 million. So it's like, to understand that gratitude, just waking up is worth so much money. Then it's like what you do with that 24 hours. That's even more important.
Exactly,
right?
man.
So I think people forget that. No, it's true. I just watched it. You know, fucking TikTok and
It
shit.
makes
They got
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like for me, family's number one.
Huge.
Family
Yeah.
makes you happy. And, you know, I have family in Greece with nothing. Like, you know, and they have each other, and they're 10 times happier than I am.
True. It's
Fair.
true.
You know?
It's the Europe way, bro.
Yeah.
And
That's the culture there.
my wife's from Colombia, same thing. Like, they just sit there and they just
They can just chill out.
chill out, and they're not on their phones like we are. They're just
Yeah.
speaking, they're just talking for hours, and they're just enjoying their time. And that's just life, man.
You quickly, I know you work a lot with family. You actually earlier said it was kind of a good thing, although a lot of people would probably think that could potentially be a bad thing. How do you take it? How is it for you?
People might think it's a bad thing because, you know, you're going to argue with family and stuff like that. I obviously get into arguments with my family here and there, but at the end of the day, we love each other.
Yeah.
And I know people don't see their mom or dad for like 4 or 5 months at a time. Like,
That's crazy.
I get to see my mom, my dad, my sister every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. I wouldn't have it any other way, man. I wouldn't know what it felt like to not be around my family every day. And like, at the end of the day, we're very, very tight knit. We're European. So, I mean, I'm not to say different cultures are different, but you know, European culture, they're very, very close with each other, and they're very trusting. And we have a good bond, and we trust each other, that we have a common goal for our family to just work hard together, and then hopefully we get to enjoy some of the fruits of life as a group together always.
Yeah. No, it's a good perspective, dude. I respect it. I know Europeans.
It's funny though, because most people say don't do business with family.
No, 100%. And I can imagine sometimes it gets tough, but then I also like to think, who's going to look out for you more than your family?
Yeah.
Who's going to give you the truth more than your family? If you're fucking up, like, maybe your business partner or one of your employees not going to tell you the same way your family would. Be like, Matty, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? You're acting like an idiot or whatever. Like,
for sure, man.
You'll
no
get
one's going to give it to you straight.
Yeah.
The only thing I hate about working with my family, which sucks, is that there's like every single like dinner, lunch, Christmas, Easter, just all we talk about is work.
Yeah, true.
I'm just like, fuck,
Yeah.
I just need a break. But
yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Yeah. No, fair, man. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. We appreciate you coming on and giving us all that juicy stuff. I know a lot of people will listen to this and be inspired or take a lot from it.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of impressive shit in the city, clearly with no end in sight, which is great
Everything
you
you touch turns to gold, bro.
Yeah, dude. So
that's what's happening right now.
That's what we know. But no, it's impressive, man, and it's cool. And I can appreciate the fact that you're not looking outside of Toronto. You want to keep building here. That's cool. That's good for our city. That's good for guys like us and what we do. It's very respectable. A lot of people, like you said, the goal is always to like get big here and leave New York, LA, whatever. So the fact that you want to stay here it's kudos to you for that,
Gives us all
man.
hope, bro.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it does. I think a lot of people, for various different reasons, we're kind of scared of the trajectory of our city. But to hear it coming from you, a guy with so much success in the city, that you plan on staying here and continue to build here, that's straight up. It actually brings a lot of hope. And I'm sure a lot of people will listen to this and be happy you said those words.
Yeah.
So
this is one of the best cities to live in, man.
Yeah.
It's a great city to leave and go on vacation and visit somewhere else, but it's always on the plane back, you're like, fuck, Toronto's sick.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
Everywhere you're like, oh, like I'm back, I'm home. But it's a good place to come back to and call home.
Yeah, no,
it's a great place to like leave because it gets cold or whatever reasons, but that flight back home always feels good for some reason.
No,
100%.
it's true. But yeah, man, appreciate your time.
Of course.
And hopefully have you back in the near future.
Man.
We got some new stuff going on. I'd love to have you back and hear what's going on. But with that being said, Dean,
we're out.